Welcome everyone to another edition of the Fall River Insider. I am your host Colin Dias. Happy Friday, everyone! Happy Friday. The weather looks great out there tonight. So if you want to get out momentarily before in the morning, because in the morning we're gonna have looks like we're gonna have a lot of rain. It's like it might switch to snow in the afternoon. So tomorrow's gonna be not so much of a nice day. I'm sure we won't see a single plow on the road, but that's okay. Um, And today we have a packed agenda. We have a packed agenda to talk to viewers at home about. And thank you everyone for joining again. City of Fall River, what type of water board, and the Fall River Sewer Commission both approved rate increases. Rate increases, both 8 cents to you, the homeowner, the ratepayer at home. Again, we talk about this every single day. It's an ongoing lap. Is we have a situation where every single year the administration raises rates, taxes, property taxes, rates, and when are we going to say enough is enough? And so we're going to talk a little bit first about the Watuppa Water Board. So the Watuppa Water Board had a meeting the other day, and it was the same day as the state of the city, and they approved an 8 cent increase in water rates. Two people on the board, individuals had the authority to approve hundreds of dollars in rates to a single household, and that is not okay for this community to go through every year after year. And we're gonna play a little bit. They raised it up 8 cents, and I believe we talked about it's around $3 per cubic foot. And you're wondering how much does a cubic foot level out to in the long run? And we actually have that. We're gonna pull up that. I just had the clip up, but it went away. We're gonna play the clip from Paul Ferland talking about how much a cubic foot takes on the homeowner. And let me just get that up momentarily. And a cubic foot, again, it's a lot of water that's being used, most definitely. And Boomer, I think we talked about this before. And one load of laundry takes up what, 19 cubic feet. And we discussed this, and again, it adds up when you raise it dollars, cents every single year. It's definitely not good for this community. It's not good at all. We're gonna get into that first, and then later we're going to discuss the sewer rates, and we're going to discuss the city council meeting that take place, and they tabled two appointments, and I'm really I'm really happy to see the city council take a stand and make sure that we are hiring people based on what they know and that we have full transparency. And I believe the administration wants that as well. City administrator, I think, did a great job listening to the city council's concerns on this issue. Again, we need full transparency. When the city council asks for you to give a reason to why you're appointing someone to the board, any board or commission in this community or anywhere, you should give a reason as to why they're qualified. And I think we discussed this in the previous episode, Section 3-3 of the Charter, which mandates that you have to post on the city's website board and commission vacancies. So we have a fair shake, a fair process, so anyone who wants to serve on a board can serve on a board. And that's not what's happening right now, and it hasn't happened forever. It's never happened, and that's not okay for this community. For those who want to serve on a board or commission and aren't able to because there isn't a fair, transparent process in our charter and our rules and regulations, our ordinances aren't being followed by this administration. Now, let me plug this in. Now, this is Paul Ferland discussing how much a cubic foot takes on in total terms. So let's listen.
That's what's budgeted within that $150,000 other capital line item. One of the other things that I wanted to talk a little bit about is the, and over the past couple of years, I've been asked a lot about this, is the average CCF used per household. We've had the average CCF that we use per household that's been in place for a number of years. derived by my predecessor, and there's multiple different ones that are used. EPA likes to use one, DEP uses one, rate calculators use the other. But the best way for us to figure this out is to calculate it. You know, so see what our actual customers use, because what our customers use is very different from what Westport's customers use, or from what Somerset or Swansea's customers use. You know,
Boomer, they're calculating how much they're going to charge the taxpayer. I'm glad they're doing the math. Hey, I think their math's worse than our math on this, honestly.
It's just on, you know, the household and the amount of people. So last year, what I did, I took a very small sampling. And I broke it down. So I took 20 different houses, which we knew the amount of people that lived in the houses. We knew, you know, we took a mixture of single family, multifamily, and all residential. And we broke that down per quarter cost, per year. So the total household usage based on those 20 properties that we calculated last year was 55.25 CCF per year.
55.25.
55.25 CCF per year.
You're talking in hundreds.
Yes.
Okay.
Boomer, we sound okay? Oh, okay. I know you looked at me. I just wanted to make
100
sure.
cubic feet.
Okay.
So we've always used 53 CCF as the number when we calculate what it costs for an average household per year for their water and sewer bills. Last year, people said, "Well, that was only 20 houses, very small sample set. How do you really know that that's any good?" This year, we went and we did a calculation based off of what was used in 2021, the calendar year, and we ran all residential properties, excluding condos, large apartment buildings. So this was single families, 2 families, 3 families, and 4 to 8. We pulled all the usage based on land use code. That was over 16,000 properties. Numbers of accounts, 16,000 accounts, 31,000 households was in this calculation. So we pulled that. We pulled all the usage. When you divided them out, we came with 50.69 CCFs per the average household.
Okay, Boomer. So I think we need to piggyback on what we were discussing before. So how much is an average household use per year? I guess it's around 50 CCF per year. So I guess that's according to Mr. Furlan. So
average household uses that per year.
According to Mr. Furlan, yes. It uses that much water. I don't know how they calculate this.
Yeah, no, I gotta figure that out.
I'm assuming we are making a mistake. So and I've been really thinking about this the last week. Boomer, I would love to have Mr. Furlan on the show in the future. I trust. I think I get him on, but I know he would have to get approval from the top, which is easier said than done. But it's around 50 CCF a year that they use. And let's look at how much they're charging. They're now going to want to charge the average household. So 50 times. So they're looking around $200 a year. And again, is this per year or just per quarter? We have to go back and watch the video. But I believe he said per year. So that would be around $250 to charge in each household. And that's a single family household. That's not including if it's a multifamily.
Which
it adds up.
Inner city, how many multifamilies do we have?
A lot.
Then you got the businesses. Then you got everything else. Like there's a lot.
And they did not include businesses in this, Boomer. They didn't in this survey that they did. They did not include businesses. They did not include industrial areas. They only included single family household and multi-family household.
So
only residential.
They included the residential working class people that they already just raised all their taxes on.
Correct.
That's what they include. Oh, I'm glad that they did that. That's great.
And so
They're looking out for us, the taxpayers.
So now we can finally see how much this levies in. Again, the 8 cents, according to their calculations, it's only going to raise it by a couple dollars every single year. However, that couple dollars a year after year after year adds up, Boomer. And then we question where these expenses come from. We question where they come from. You have raises coming down the line from the administration, and then of course, we're discussing the new Diamond High School, the new Durfee High School, the debt exclusion that's going to be coming on, which is going to cost a lot more. It's going to cost about a lot more than just a couple dollars a year, as we all know. And again, when does it end? When are we going to finally give the residents of this community a tax break, a rate break? No, honestly, Boomer, we all laugh, and I know we talk about this every single show, but when is it going to end? And I saw a comment from someone who I have a great amount of respect for, Paulo Amaral. I know Paulo Amaral is going for the position, I believe, on the Conservation Commission. And I know Paulo's very conscientious about the taxpayer, ran for city council, and ran a great campaign. And thank you for listening, Paul. I appreciate it. And I do want to talk. We'll jump into that one next. Boomer, we're talking about the last meeting at the last show.
Yeah.
The city council had two requests for by the administration to place two new members on boards and commissions. And again, these two people who the mayor appointed are great community activists, great people in our community, and I think we all know that. And we'll move past that. But I think the city council tabled these appointments, and they did a great job in their discussions doing so, Boomer. I'm really happy they did table this for the reasons that they gave, which was they want to see the reasonings behind the appointments. The city council made a vote and a request for the administration to always bring down an explanation for every single appointee, and I believe they stopped doing that. And I believe it was tabled, and I think they also want to judge their experience, make sure we have the most qualified people. And Boomer, I did do my research, and it's the sewer commission general and is required to have, at least in city ordinance, has to have both an attorney. They have to have an attorney, and they have to have someone who's an engineer, who's a certified engineer. And I don't know if they have that or not. I do know they have an attorney. I think Rena Attorney Howie acts on that board, and I'm not not Attorney Howie Act. I believe his wife.
Yeah.
And she's an attorney, and she's on that board. I don't know if they have an engineer or not, and and I know there's one more position. If there's not an engineer, then we're not in. I don't believe Miss Washington is an engineer. That would be against a city ordinance. However, there's something we brought out in a previous episode I want to bring up again. So Section 3-3 of the Charter has to do with the mayor's powers to appoint people to city boards and commissions, and it also lays the roadmap on how he's supposed to do so. Before he sends a letter to the city clerk, and that appointment goes before the city council in most instances for that appointment to be approved or not. And under Section 3-3 of the Charter, it states crystal clear, every February, the mayor needs to post every vacancy for boards and commissions, and it has to give the public an opportunity, a roadmap on how to apply. And I think they did that, and I really agree with that. And as much as we bash a charter, that's actually a really good idea, Boomer. And it's important because the community needs transparency in the process. And with that, I really think they were trying to get at how someone could have a fair hearing. And not only a fair hearing, and not only people who know the mayor or know someone in the administration can apply. That is a transparent process so everyone can see who is applying and who is getting accepted and denied. And secondly, we can have a diversity of people who can apply and get a fair shake, and not just people who know the administration. And I sent that letter to the city council. I'm glad they tabled it, so I hope they read my letter and then they can soak that information in, and then we can move on from there and how we can fix the system, because we're not following the charter right now, Boomer, and that's definitely not okay. And
We only follow the charter when it meets the needs of whoever wants to, take money, basically. We know we follow the charter, depending on if we need it, if it works in our favor or not.
I agree. I would agree with that. We only follow the charter if it works in the favor of whoever wants to follow it. Any politician, they only look at, well, how does this favor me? Not I'll take out this section because it favors me in this instant. And I just want to see Paul. Paul, what did you say his last comment? I just want to.
He just said you can ask me about that.
He's made it.
Oh, agreed, but there's more to this.
And if Mr. Amaral either wants to come on the show, that's fine with me. Or if he wants to comment, we'll definitely share his answers, definitely.
Yeah.
And again, and Paulo, it's nothing. You are a great city activist and advocate in this community. You ran a great campaign, and it's along with Ms. Washington as well. It's nothing with the names. It's just the process, and I'm sure you understand that. Agreed. And just momentarily, we're going to play another clip in a second. When we think we take a quick break. Awesome. We're going to take a quick break, and on the other side, we're going to play a clip from the school committee meeting, and I think it's very important for the public to see this. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back. Sorry, everyone. We're just waiting for the Wi-Fi to load for this video. So the video I'm going to play has to do with the city council. The school committee. I just submitted a not a records request. I submitted a citizens input to this meeting, and I think it's very important for the public to know this. The school committee is in their budget deliberations right now. Their budget is going to they have to approve their budget, and the city council also has to meet with the school committee and then allocate their portion to the school committee budget, their allocation of city funds, which is also a big topic of discussion. And so they're in their budget deliberations right now, and it's very important. So the school committee would post their budget summary. It shows where all the money is going towards, where they want to allocate the public dollars. They will post that every single year. And we just discovered, and it wasn't just discovered, we discovered in the last couple of weeks, they haven't posted fiscal year 23 yet while they're in their budget deliberations. And the excuse that we got from the school committee administration, from I believe the CFO, was, we don't post this until after the deliberations are over. However, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm really happy a school committee member, Kevin Aguiar, brought this up after I made the citizens input, because it is really important that we have the budget deliberations going on, and me being a normal citizen, not on the school committee, I can't give my opinion really on where the money is going or my 2 cents because it's not posted yet. It's not posted yet, and we're going to get into that right now. And we'll just listen to what Mr. Aguiar has to say in the response of the city. And again, it's ridiculous that we don't have a transparent process going on in the school committee right now. Why can't the public see where the public funds are going currently? And we're just waiting for this to load. And I just have it up right now. Let me just back it up a little bit. Here we go. And this is for everyone for their edification.
Tonight, Mr. Aguilar.
Just on that, I
think at the beginning of that it said the budget's not out for the public. Is that not accurate statement? Of the budget,
Yes, when the budget will be posted.
the school budget.
Yes.
But so we approved it as a draft, it should already be posted.
So the budget doesn't get released until you officially take a vote to put it out to advertise. So we'll put it out at the end of the month in March. That's when it gets put out. It'll get put out for 10 days or so after that. The only thing that we've put out to date is the budget presentation, and we made that available online.
Right, but the presentation includes this.
That's posted. The
That's what I'm saying,
presentation's
like this whole thing
No,
is,
no,
It's
it's
not
not.
that.
No, it's not. Just the presentation is posted.
PowerPoint.
We followed this process for the last several years since I've been here.
yep, but if it's a public document, and the presentation from the superintendent for the budget was this, along with the other thing, this is a public document. This needs to be posted.
It'll get posted once we make it available to the public. If we take a vote to make it available to the public.
It is available to the
But
public.
it's not. It's not. This has been the process that we've had in place, unless you want to take a vote tonight. If you want to take a vote tonight to make it
I
available
wish
to the
they
public,
did.
I'll do it tomorrow.
It's available to the public. So, Mr. Chairman, any documents that are given to us, like a 3-ring binder of the budget, along with the package of stuff, whether it's happened like this or not in the past, just because it's been done wrong in the past, if it's a public
Agreed.
document, anything that comes out like this is a public document, should be eligible for the public. How are they going to read it to see? We just had this debate about what our role is, but I think it's a valid point. If the public doesn't see all of these things,
Right.
then it's a public document.
So I guess my question, if somebody can weigh in, what is the purpose of taking a vote on, currently we have it scheduled for March 23rd. What is the purpose of taking a vote to make the budget available to the public?
What would be the purpose? I gotta stop this real quick. What would be the purpose, Boomer? So individuals, while there's budget deliberations, so okay, here's an example. So they just did the middle school, so and the K-8 schools during that meeting. So if I have a question, why is this amount of money? Why isn't there not enough going towards paraprofessionals at Henry Lord? How would I don't know how much is going towards Henry Lord, Boomer, because you know why? Because it's not posted. Why wouldn't they post the budget before the budget deliberation so the public can like keep in touch, keep in tune with like where their public dollars are going, so they can give their input during these meetings, which would be very beneficial and helpful for the school committee members as well. So what if a school committee member hears an idea from the public who has read the budget and wants to give and has a new idea and brings that idea up during a meeting, and then they can make a change that would be beneficial for those
They don't want that. They want it their way. How they present it, how they do it, no argument, no nothing. This is
Yes.
their way. They don't want
It's
it.
been like that for years, but it's horrible. Kevin Aguiar is right. That's a horrible way. It's been done for years, and it has to change. You can do something wrong for multiple years, doesn't make it right. Like honestly,
Absolutely right.
honestly, it's a shame. Well, I mean, let's continue with this for a moment.
It's been past practice. It's what we've done this last several years. So Mr. Aguirre, I have no issue being transparent with everybody. But that
I'm
has
glad they have no issue being
been
transparent.
practice for the last so many years. I can tell you.
I'm just saying it's a public document.
I get it, but it's not officially public until
Kevin,
a vote is taken by the committee.
What?
What? Mr. Assad wants to weigh in on this.
If I might be able to help a little bit on this.
Please.
I think Kevin, what you're referring to is when the vote is taken for the budget to go out to the public, it's advertised and it's put out there. That's separate from the documents that are presented at a school committee meeting that would be subject to the open meeting law in terms of they would be able to request a copy of it through a FOIA request, because all documents that are presented to the committee would be a public document. However, with respect to the budget itself, there is a specific statutory scheme that we've been following for as long as I've been here in terms
The
of
scheme.
putting it out. So what Mr. Aguirre is saying is correct. If it's a document that's presented to the committee, it is a public document. The actual publication of that document and the obligation of the committee to publicize that It's a statutory scheme that's happens down the road. And you're correct in that.
And I appreciate the comments of the attorney. However, I just don't really understand. It's a statutory scheme. It was this by law. They can't release it would be a public document. That doesn't make any sense. I don't really understand that answer the attorney gave. I mean, I appreciate the answer and agreeing that it is a public document. I appreciate the answer. However, I don't really understand that part about it being a statutory scheme. I don't understand. What is that? By law, they can't release it until such and such a date. I mean, I think we need more of an explanation on that, Boomer. And I'm going to bring this up at the next meeting Monday. It's
I
very.
don't know what law they're referring to.
Yeah. I mean,
What
yeah.
law
Well,
states you have to hide information until it's approved?
yeah. Exactly. I don't.
I've never seen that law before.
I haven't either. I really don't understand that. And I'm really happy Mr. Aguiar stuck up for transparency and for the public at home, so they can keep in touch, keep an eye and an ear on where their public dollars are being spent. That's very important for this community. And this month, we'll go into this briefly, very quick. This Monday, there's going to be another special meeting of the school committee, and then it's going to be the regular meeting of the school committee. And as we did a couple weeks ago, last month, we're going to go into go into the agenda where this community, where the school committee, where the FRPS, the district, wants to spend public dollars. So we'll go into the travel request first, Boomer. I know I caught some flack a little bit for bringing up the travel request, and that's well.
Colin calls him black never.
I think the first one again, it looks like it's being all paid for again. Why don't these I mean, it is by bus, so I guess it makes sense. But why aren't we reimbursed? If we're going to reimburse someone for $50 to go to Providence, and actually, I want to bring up this in a minute. Why aren't we reimbursing teachers who go out of their way to bring the children on field trips? I think you know what I mean. I think the teachers should be getting more of a reimbursement for doing this as well. We're going to be giving away $50 for nothing. Looks like they're going to go to the destination there. The principal of Durfee is requesting permission to travel to RA New Salon and Spa on 580 Thames Street, Newport, and then the barbershop, Newport, Rhode Island. Students will be able to see the difference between a barbershop and spa atmosphere. Students will listen to the owner requirements and job description. I agree with this, Boomer. I'm really happy to see this because if there's nothing wrong with being a barber, and there's nothing wrong with working in the spa, and they want to show students a firsthand experience of that. I'm okay with that. I think that's good.
That's actually what my new show's about.
Yeah. Oh, barber?
No, just new careers and bringing
New
kids
careers?
into the height. Stop getting so sucked into
Good.
the whole. You have to do this, and this is the only way you can be wealthy, kind of thing.
Yes, and no. See, we can't always criticize everything. I think that's great. I think that's great. And the second one, Durfee High School Principal Matthew Dismaris is requesting permission to travel to Joint Base McGuire Dix in Lakehurst, New Jersey. Have you ever heard of it? Yeah, it's
Horrible place.
Navy Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps area for in-service training. So I guess it's for the ROTC, which is again great.
I'm all about field trips and real experience. I'm all about.
Yeah, I'm all about that as well. It doesn't show how many individuals are going. It means the transportation is going to be a personal vehicle, and lodging is going to be $170. That's reasonable. Per dime, $172.50. Mileage is and again.
That's per day.
Yes, per day. And mileage, they're only going to charge for the mileage $322 to go to New Jersey. That's not bad. I don't think that's that bad. I mean, again, but you're going to charge $50 to go a couple of towns, but only $322 to go multiple states through New York traffic and everything. That's okay. $322 is okay, but we're going to again give $50 to someone who's buddies with the mayor, buddies with the administration, but he gets a little bit. You know what I mean? I bet if he was going on this trip, again, it may be little, but you have to you have to see where the hypocrisy is. Even if it's little, but you got to see because it all falls into place in the end. Again, if this was him, I bet going on this trip, it would have been like $600-700 for mileage. Just again, just not saying it is or not, but that's my opinion. And and again, we're going to look at the approval of contracts. The contracts the city wants to provide. I'm sorry, not the city. The school department wants to provide. Vendors, companies, taxpayer dollars for services. And first, we have Pro AV Systems Incorporated. We're getting 200 more Promethean boards district wide. I know Durfee High School has got 200 Promethean boards. And this is being paid out of our ESSER funds. It's $350,000 for these 200 boards, and I hope they're going to all across the district. It says district-wide, so I hope this is not just going to Durfee High School, which just received boards, or any high school which just received boards. Any school that just received boards. I hope it's going to the ones that need it. And again, another contract for Semco Inc. Again, cells and system consumable kits. That's going to be $20,000 in the ESSER funds. And Wilkinson Companies, we need 2 high-efficiency boilers at Henry Lohr School. And that's going to be $200,000.
It's a big school.
It is a big school.
He is needed in this.
It most certainly is.
I can understand the cost.
Oh, I'm not saying it's a bad cost. I'm just
saying if we did that to all our schools in the beginning and maintain them like this.
That's exactly what I was getting
at.
at.
The cost does suck, but you know what? It eliminates those $300 million schools later on.
And it'll eliminate the cost in the long term. We need to work on our long-term costs.
We're good.
I agree with that.
I'm okay with that.
Same here. And then we have an EMS contract, EMS Link Inc. Incorporated, registration gateway, parent registration software to facilitate parent intake and placements of students year 7, $16,000. Oh, and we have VS Athletics, track and mat fields for Durfee High School. That's going to be $31,000. I know they just approved. That's weird because I know they just approved the. I know like last year they approved the new track and field for the new Durfee High School. This was last year. I don't know. This is an addition to it. I don't know. This is something supplemental or just was already included in those costs. But I don't know if we just made a new track and field. We're making a whole new track and field boomer. Now we're paying an extra $30,000 for something different. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with putting the track and fields. However, I thought we already paid for this just a year ago. That's what I'm trying to get at. And then we have special needs contracts, Brandon residential tuition for students with special needs, $40,000. And then we have Pearson assessments, psychologists, and SLP online assessment 1-year subscription, which is $41,000. And then we're paying someone by the name of Susan Pasillo, evaluation team chair coverage at both Durfee and Morton through the end of the school year, which is $15,300. And we have a total number of grants that were coming in a total of $345,000, which is great to see. And now we have a couple items that the school committee is going to be discussing. And they actually want to make a technology subcommittee of the school committee. I don't really know why you need a technology subcommittee. That doesn't make much sense to me. I would not vote for that. You already have so many, and that can fall into another subcommittee. I don't really understand what you're going to do with that. You be devil's advocate.
All right, let me look at it this way. So on a positive side, technology moves very quickly. It definitely moves very fast. So we just built a brand new school, all updated, right? In 5 years, the technology in that school is pretty much obsolete. So having people that are qualified to make those decisions to updates and why we need this instead of this and why we go with these programs instead of these or Microsoft instead of Apple, whatever it is.
No, I agree.
So I can understand people being qualified for that.
I think this is going to be
$300 million on a school full of.
This subcommittee is going to be a school committee. So it's just going to be school committee members.
Yeah, but to do what? Is it to justify the technological advances of our school systems? Because then that makes sense. Is it just to give more people jobs? Like, what are we doing? I mean, I would just.
I just think it would I think it would fall under other
If it's gonna help the schools,
subcommittees.
it's gonna help the kids, and technology is going way too fast for people today. So I understand that. And let's be real, we got people on the board. We got people that have been around, since the '60s when these schools were built. So, technology might not
That's-
be the.
That's fair. Another. Wait, one more issue. So remember how the superintendent Malone was on the South Coast Collaborative Board, and he didn't want to serve, and it cost the school district $200,000 every quarter. Remember that?
What was it?
So Superintendent Malone didn't want to serve on a board. It had to be a superintendent or a representative of the school committee. He didn't want to serve on the board, on this South Coast Collaborative Board, and it costs the school district, and they would pay the school district. I believe it was $200,000 every so often. I think it was once a month, to be honest, but I think it could have been once every 6 months. Now I'm thinking about it, to serve on this board. The superintendent just didn't want to serve on the board, Superintendent Malone, and that cost the school district a lot of money. And now before us is they want to appoint. You can either have a school committee member or a superintendent. Superintendent, and they want to. Looks like they want to appoint a school committee member now, and I hope we did not lose any funds over these last few months from the transition from Malone resigning. And now I'm scared that we might have, and then we have a new interim superintendent. I don't know if we were allowed to have anyone. I really hope that didn't go overlooked, because that could have saved the school district hundreds of thousands of dollars. And very interesting this came up.
I wasn't tracking that, so it's possible. But
It was so many things going on in the school department at that time. I think it's a lot too
and I
long.
can understand if they kind of missed it too, With
I can't.
With transitioning and things going on and investigations and everything. I guess I can give them some leniency on forgetting certain things, but not when it's not at the cost of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Absolutely not.
I just can't. That's just me. And one last thing, they want to it's very vague, and I feel like this violates the open meeting law. They want to do a budget transfer. It doesn't say for what, how much, and where from and where to, but they want to do a budget transfer, and there's information that violates the open meeting law. And I think and if they go forward with that, I might file one just for that, because that's not transparent to the public. The public doesn't know what to discuss other than budget transfer. That's not clear and conclusive enough to see where public funds are being used.
You need everything. Like, you can't just blindly say budget. I'm going to transfer all my.
I wonder what this budget I really wonder what this budget transfer is going to be, if they're trying to hide it. And then
After it gets approved, they'll share it with the public. Don't worry about it.
oh, of course, that's what they always
That's how
do.
things.
And then on March 16th, they're gonna have another special meeting regarding I believe this is for the high schools. Let me see. Actually, it's not. They're gonna talk about their instructional curriculum. They're gonna talk about the finances for that, the technology curriculum, or just technology in general. Oh, and actually, it's going to be very interesting. They're going to discuss at this meeting facilities and operations, and I think the public should take a good look at that and how we're maintaining our schools. We talk about this all the time. Are we maintaining our taxpayer-funded schools or not? And again, everyone, and it's very important for the public to know, we discuss this every episode. The school committee is receiving over $20 million increase in Chapter 70 funds, which the city has to pay $2 million on the city side to reimburse. So the city has a $2 million bill to reimburse the $25 million in ESSER funds that the city already has a plentitude of, that we discuss every single episode. And that's not,
Your sense of adventure, Colin.
but again, we need reform. That needs to be reformed. I really would love to see the city collaborate with our elected officials over on the state side, our state representative, our delegation, to have some change, because again, we have multi-million-dollar deficits.
The state reps' husbands are the ones that work for the city that take all the other money. Like, who's gonna talk to who? Oh wait, they're gonna pay us more money up here? Okay, yeah, that's fine. Come on.
It's a shame, Boomer. Honestly, it's a shame.
This is Massachusetts. They don't care about you.
And I agree. Something needs.
Everybody should sell all their properties to nothing. Let the slumlords own it. Then see what happens. All the good people walk out of here, leave, take their money, take their taxes, and go pay for quality places.
And I saw on one of our
some society will be happy somewhere.
I was watching Spindle City Straight Talk, and I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but we're talking about salary increases that let me see if I can bring it up. You might have seen it.
What salaries?
No, there was a salary like a major one for someone that works in the city hall. Let me get the
No, not in City Hall.
just let me get that up momentarily.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, so I guess there's a recent rumor about a person in city government receiving a $19,000 pay raise and a promotion, which may encompass 2 other departments. And that's according to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'll definitely reach out to CJ and see what's up with that. And if that's we'll have to definitely look into that because again, we talk about pay increases.
So, if that $19,000 goes to someone to run 2 more departments, I'm okay with that. Instead of paying somebody to run each of those departments at 60, 70, 80, God only knows what he'll pay them, $1,000 a year, that person's gonna make an extra 19 to run all 3. To me, that's efficient. To me, that's
fair.
saving us money to an extent. You know what I mean? Like,
That's
yes,
fair.
it's costing us $20,000 more for that person, but it's saving us $120,000 or more.
Well, we have
for
this.
2
I
others.
agree with
So
you.
if that's the case, then I'm okay. If that's not the case, then we have a problem.
I agree with you. Let's just see. We gotta see if this person can manage all 3 of these, but we need
Correct.
proper management of our departments as well.
Well, you gotta remember, before we just hired, almost 30 new people, we were running perfectly fine without them. So at the end of the day, we can run more efficiently. We just had people getting underpaid and working more. So if we're gonna finally start paying those people to do their job that they were doing and being able to do it effectively and efficiently, I'm okay with that. But then why do we have all these fluff jobs of the other 27, 28, 29, whatever it was, hired? What are we doing?
I agree, Boomer. I think it's a good time right now to wrap it up. Next Tuesday, there'll be a school committee meeting Monday. There'll be a very great school committee meeting. We'll definitely touch up on that Tuesday or any other issue that comes down the belt. We had a great turnout today of people watching the show. It's great seeing this great turnout. Hello, Jeff. Hello, everyone watching at home. Definitely give us a like, share, comment, like Eric B. Media, Forever Raw, Forever Insider. And I hope everyone has a great day, great night. Drive slow tomorrow. It's going to be a stormy day. And I hope everyone has a great rest of the evening. Thank you. I hope everyone has a great night. Thank you.